Can you think of somebody in your life who was a significant influence on your life and somebody that you leaned on or looked up to? Maybe somebody that mentored you or you just spent a lot of time with them, and over the course of years and years, you just kind of wondered to yourself, man, what would I ever do if this person was gone? And then one day, that person's gone, and you're left to pick up the pieces and try to figure out, where do you go next? What do you do? What am I supposed to do? And you just wish that God would come down and tell you that everything's going to be okay and that there is a plan for this. And did you know that happened to somebody at one point in history? It happened to Joshua. In chapter 1, we're going to find out what happens when God comes down to support Joshua after the death of Moses. Moses was a pretty significant character in the program of God. To this day, people still talk about Moses. People still name their children after Moses. Moses was a long time ago, but he was that significant, that important, and Joshua served under Moses. And I can't imagine what that would have been like. How cool would that have been to serve under Moses? And you probably think, we just got it made. Moses is in charge, and this is great. What happens when Moses is gone and you're Joshua, and you now have to pick up the pieces? What do you do? Where do you go? What do you say? How do you feel? What's it going to be like? And God is going to come down, and he's going to talk to Joshua, and we're going to start to look at the book of Joshua 5 minutes at a time, and it's going to take a little bit, but we're going to do this. And we're going to start in chapter 1, verses 1 through 6. As the Lord comes down to support Joshua in chapter 1, in verses 1 through 6, God's going to remind him of his promise. Don't you like to be reminded of the promises of God? God's going to talk to Joshua, and it's going to go something like this. Now, after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spoke to Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' assistant, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now, therefore, arise, go over this Jordan, you and all the people, to the land which I am giving them, the children of Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot will tread upon, I have given to you, as I said to Moses. From the wilderness and this Lebanon, as far as the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and to the great sea, towards the coming of the sun, shall be your territory. No man shall be able to stand before you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will not leave you or forsake you. Be strong and of good courage, for to this people you shall divide as an inheritance the land which I swore to their fathers to give them. As God comes down and talks to Joshua after the death of Moses, he reminds him of his promise. He's going to remind him that they are supposed to continue moving forward. The program of God doesn't stop just because Moses has died. We recognize that Moses was important and significant. We love Moses. Moses did a lot of great things. Servant of the Lord. Got it. But just because he's dead doesn't mean the program of God has stopped. Sometimes some of us want to give up when going gets tough. We'll have somebody in our life that's like a Moses to us, and when they're gone, we just give up. I've seen people who've lost loved ones or grandparents or something like that, or a grandma, and they just give up. They just can't seem to put one foot in front of the other anymore. And God has to remind Joshua to keep moving forward. He says, as I was with Moses, so I will be with you. Don't worry about anything, Joshua. You're the man now, and it's time for you to step up to the plate and do your job. So I was with Moses, so I will be with you. He reminds Joshua of all of these promises. The land is still yours. I'm still going to be with you. It doesn't matter if Moses is gone. Stand up straight. I'm going to be with you, and everything's going to be okay. Don't you wish God would just come down and tell you that sometimes when the going gets tough? But he does with Joshua.